Our story opened 6 days ago in Phandalin, a pioneer mining town near the Sword Mountains. The recent arrival of a dragon there threatens the realm. As our heroes have been called together to aid the innocent, they have been questing nonstop ever since. It's been about 6 days since that time. In our last 2 sessions, many heroic events have transpired, mostly over the course of one afternoon and into the early evening here at the Shrine of Savras. It has now been dark for the past few hours of a short rest. As our adventuring party sits in the former Priest Seer's sanctuary here in the shrine, they are gathered around the hearth campfire. They've been talking about the events of the day.
What'd you guys think of that bear?
All of a sudden, the altar in the next room begins to hum.
Did anybody else hear that?
I did.
Yep.
You're aware it's the altar in the next room. It's making the humming noise. And the horses tied up outside seem to be nervous.
Is that audible? Are they
Might
making...
be to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I hear them? Animal handling, perception, anything like that?
Yeah, you do. You can hear that.
Well, what do you think about this, Nars?
I will cast Detect Magic again. I want to see if it's the same divination magic.
All of a sudden you hear outside, because part of the wall collapse is, there's direct opening to the outside. You hear of a large reptilian beast on the lawn where the horses are tied up. Party rushes around the corner to see the white dragon with one of Big Al's horses in its mouth. It has snapped the rope, the animal's neck with the rope as it took what you assume to be its next meal, and it turns to glare at you. And it flies away.
Ah, you bloody dragon! Bring the horse back! Come down, I'll fight you! Thardin Silverhammer is not afraid of you, dragon!
It flies away.
Is the aura still emanating from the altar or no?
No, there's no magic coming from the altar, but your detect magic does ping the key that you have in your possession that was found underneath the altar.
Looking at this key, am I able to tell mechanically what it might do?
Roll Arcana.
That's only an 8.
The key is not mechanical at all. It is one just lump sum of cast metal. It appears to be platinum, but you really can't tell in the light. But it's definitely glowing with an aura that you know is magical.
I just put it in my coat pocket for now. Well, that's one horse down.
I don't think that
what's a
Al's going to be
dragon?
happy about that.
Well, I mean, we did save his life.
Yes, but he did say how much he relied on the aid of his animals.
What if we gave him some of this gold, or just didn't accept the reward money from him?
What if we ride to Fandel and buy another horse and have someone deliver it for us?
There we
That's a
go.
good thought, Nars. We could do that. That might be the cheaper route as well.
Yes. Less
Hire
walking backwards.
adventurers to bring the horses back. I like that idea that Nars has had.
So
I
we
never
will-
even considered that. Good call.
We
That
will
might be
gather
a-
our belongings. Or I will, at least.
That'd be a good adventure for some novice young lads to bring the horse to him.
You guys have rested up a little bit, and the party comes to the conclusion that if they rode all night, they could make it back to Fandolin by the morning and then rest up in their room at the Stonehill Inn.
Sounds good.
And riding on horseback will get you there faster than the 2 days it took to walk, no doubt.
Yeah, we'll have to double up on one horse,
Mhm.
being where we lost one.
Well,
Shouldn't have-
how long will it take us to get back?
It was 2 and a half day
Uh,
travel on foot. So on horse, we can probably expect at least half of that.
Well,
I
Kiki
would-
could become a horse as well for a short time.
That's what I was thinking.
Willow could shapeshift for
Willow.
a time of twice for an hour apiece per short rest. So she now has 2 abilities to wild shape for an hour at a time.
Hour
Yeah,
at a time.
none of us weigh too much, so it wouldn't be hard to double up on a horse. To be honest.
Yeah, agreed.
I say we head back to Fandel.
This is prior to speaking with Al, correct?
You've only just left Al's this morning. He wasn't expecting you back per se tonight.
Okay.
There are ways in which you could send a message to him, I guess. I mean, magically.
I mean, if we were in a position where he and we felt comfortable doing so, I probably wouldn't even say anything, anyways.
You know what I think I overheard Thardin speaking with Big Al, and he left him one of the sending stones that you had received from the dwarfs,
Oh.
so that you may send a message to Big Al.
Yeah, I would like to. I had one as well, I believe. That I
Now,
kept,
you had the other one.
I kept in my chest, my breast.
You
pocket.
guys had 2. Thardin had tossed you one at the beginning of Butterskull Ranch adventure. Thardin had the other one. So Thardin gave his to Big Al.
Oh, okay, got it. Well, I guess then I would use the sending stone to relay a message to Al that we are traveling to Fandolin and not to worry. We will return.
His beasts would be well cared for and back by the next evening.
Something to that nature, but I would be very generic.
I like it. And I'd like to give Willow a point of inspiration for hanging tough in there through illness and health. And she can be in this succession with a point of inspiration.
Yay!
All right.
So we mount up our horses and we ride back to Fandolin. through the night.
What color was that horse that we lost?
They all look like Appaloosas, so that's the kind of sandy brown with dark mane and tail. They were all very beautiful.
I asked Nars if he recalls if there was any, if he knew if there was any of those type of horses in Fandolin.
Like
Fandolin
replacing a goldfish.
I
No,
fear,
Fandolin does not keep stables.
and I fear that Al is much wiser than us being able to pull a fast one.
Well, either way, we
Yep.
can get to Fandela and figure it out from there. I'm sure we
Yep.
can hire someone to do something.
Okay.
So.
Let me just roll to see whether you have an encounter on the roll on the road back as you travel by night. How is Nars is doing his best to ride by night. In fact, maybe one of you have his horse tethered.
Oh, they could take point on the horse, and I could just hold on to one of them.
Right, Nars makes the best sense to have as rider on the back for one of you, because the other three of you can see in the dark, and the horses
Right,
see in the
yeah.
dark. Does that affect the trip? When the horses can't see in the dark?
Well, we have
Matt.
dancing lights, both me and Willow, so it wouldn't be too hard.
I mean, we could light lanterns as well, or torches. I mean, we're probably not going full tilt with the horses, but we're going at a good pace.
So we ride through the night. We make it back to Fandolin without incident. As the sun comes up, what do we do next?
We at the tavern?
We head to the tavern.
Drop the horses at the pack animal stable houses. Head to the tavern. Discuss the next move. We'll just say the stables would hire the guys to do the grunt work, the leg work. We make it back to the tavern. What move do we make next?
Say we go about seeing if we can sell that bell.
For the immediate future, if you wanted to turn that bell into cash, Nars would tell you that you needed to go and see Hollia Thornton.
Hollia Thornton.
Is this
Hollia
after,
Thornton.
after we fall asleep, or is this like as the sun's rising?
Yeah, you make that call. I mean, she's probably not open yet. The sun's just rising. You want to sleep for a day before you tackle any new business?
Personally, I would like to sleep.
Take a long
same.
rest. That's what we do. You had a few hours of relaxation and food after the day's events yesterday. So you had a quick cat nap or whatever, 4 hours, maybe of downtime as you talked, and then a hard night of writing. Let's just go ahead and say the party's pretty wiped out after the last week by our standards of adventuring, and they just go to bed and they sleep.
I'm assuming that we would sleep at the tavern. However, Nars would have split at some point back to his residence.
Staying in the tavern right now.
You stay in the tavern, okay.
Everyone's living at the Stonehill Inn, which is where the tavern is, in the bottom floor over there's the inn. It's upstairs. You all have rooms that you have kept since checking in 6 days ago.
Okay.
This would be the morning of the 7th day.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, we definitely get some rest, and then probably after we wake up or whatnot, have some type of food and.
Everybody has to feel proper again, I feel like,
Yeah.
before the next step happens.
Yeah, and then.
So it only makes sense that we spend some downtime now before making a move. So let's call it during the course of these days where we rest and get our strength back up. The group visits the Fandolin Miners Exchange with a large heavy sack draped over the dwarf's back, and they come in through the door
and it closes, and there behind the desk sits Halia Thornton, a human woman, dark-skinned human woman, and she heads up affairs here where the miners come to sell her their claims and settle up and weigh things and whatnot.
Who's carrying the bell?
Me.
I would go with
Thard-
Thardin.
Thardin is carrying the bell.
Walking in, does she appear to be busy or no?
She always appears to be busy.
Halia, I need a moment of your time.
Yes, Nars.
I have...
Anything for you. She's known you since you were a boy.
Well, thank you.
Anything for you.
I've recently acquired a chunk of gold, and I'm looking to get it priced out.
Oh, sure.
And then I'll gesture to Thardin to kind of show her.
I put the bell down on the counter in her shop, and I pull the sack down. And here's the bell.
Oh, that... She looks at it, knowing what it is full well.
Shiny, isn't it?
She has one of the workers passing by. If he'll bring in the big scales.
While he's doing that, Halia, I am actually looking for a regent for one of my spells. I am looking for pearls.
Oh, we're fresh out of those, honey. I'm sorry.
Damn.
I will keep one back for you next time you visit. If we come across any pearls out, I mean, it's hard to find pearls out in these streams anymore, babe.
Roger.
And
Hey,
with
Nars?
that, she looks.
I'm pretty good at digging around in the woods. Maybe I could help you find some pearls in the water. Like,
Hopefully. Yes, maybe we can do a little searching.
Halia looks at the weight of the gold and does some math and agrees to pay you the sum of 2,300 gold piece for it, if that is what you're after.
I look to Thardin.
That sounds like a
Cold,
fair.
hard currency. Of course, she has to take a piece for her troubles. You know that she has to make her money too.
It looks like a fair price.
You have yourself a deal, Halia.
She winks at you and has the boys carry away the bell, and then she doles out your gold in a large bag.
Okay. And I'll divide that amongst us as time goes on.
Oh, Nars takes the entire bag.
It'll be 575 gold each, so you guys can add that to your sheets if you want.
At the time, I would
you
imagine.
said 575?
Yeah, 21, or is it what, 2,300?
I give 550. Add 550 gold to your sheets.
Okay.
Well, 2,300 divided by 4 people, 575.
Minus the
I
cut.
thought I had said 22.
You'd said 23.
Yeah, I'd said 22.
I think you said 23,
I
but
said 23.
yeah.
Okay.
However, you said that there was a cut.
That was with her cut. That number
Oh,
that was
with-
quoted
okay.
was with her cut.
Engaged it at 3,000 gold,
Yeah.
and so she gets a cut of 700, which isn't bad.
However, when I was standing in this interaction, Myrin was very unattentive, and he was not really focused on the transaction, more just like evaluating the space of the miners' exchange.
Are there any people I don't recognize in there? Or is it mostly just dwarven workers?
There are just her employees in there at the moment.
Okay. Using this downtime, I would like to go to Barthen's provisions and grab a couple things.
Did you want?
I might go with him. Do you think they could? Would they sell things that I could turn this this deer skull I got into like kind of a crown sort of thing? Like I wanted to
They
make a
would
headdress out of it.
have. They would
They
just
sell
have.
ropes and all sorts of things.
They're a general store.
All right, cool. Then I guess
you'd
I'll
be
head
able
over there
to-
with Nars.
You'd be able to improvise with what you could find on Barthen's shelves and Nars might even help you with tools that he has.
Oh, that'd be rad.
Creating the thing. He can.
I can pick up some
That sort of
sticks as we walk along. As maybe we.
You're going to scavenge most of the materials for that. You just need some
Yeah.
glue. He would. I'm sure Barthen would have glue and simple crafting stuff like that on his shelves, and it would be very cheap. A few coppers.
Okay, cool. I'm going with you, Nars.
Roger.
Noticing that we have a bit of time in this town, and also thinking about the debt that's been acquired at the inn, I would reference to the party that I may step out for a moment outside of town nearby and see if I can acquire some large game for the inn. As they go through a lot of food, I imagine that they could use some form of repayment, and I do feel indebted to them.
You would speak with Toblin Stonehill, and you guys could set up a deal where he could bring in some. You could bring in some fresh meat. And,
Yeah. Could I do that while they're in this downtime?
Yeah, we're just gonna say that you have 2 days of free time to do whatever you while we rest up, and we want to meet at some point during that 2 days. We want to all meet up and in the tavern or in one of our rooms and discuss which direction we want to go next. Do we want to go into Winterwood, or do we want to go into the mountains? On the available
Well, we have 2 quests left, right?
jobs, you have 2 quests.
We have one at a hunting lodge and
Yes.
one at a gold mine.
One of them is at a logger's camp.
Oh, that was a logger's camp.
Well, I'm perfectly happy with either of them.
The one at the mine, we had to deliver someone, right?
Correct.
So I would suggest that we do that one first. That way we could go from there to our next point.
The other one is also a delivery. It is actually a delivery to Harbin Wester's brother, Tyborn, who heads up the loggers camp that is in Neverwinter Wood, and they send logs downstream for the rebuilding processes that Neverwinter is always undergoing after that it was destroyed in that volcanic eruption. So that's the purpose of this camp.
Did we needed to dialogue with Harbin? Am I correct? At some point. I feel like
I don't think so. I think the agreement was there. Yeah, you could dialogue with Harbin about what you found out at
was that
Butterstone
not about?
Ranch.
Yeah, that's what I thought we were returning to.
Harbin was going to pay you
Yeah.
in the case of Big Alphonse's
Right.
death.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You'll bring him also. And within this point of several days, one or all of you will chat with Harbin Wester about what you saw out there, and that he had offered you payment, and you had lost one of his horses and rode back here and arranged for those horses to be returned. He doesn't owe you anything for the mission because Big Al now owes you for that quest that you went out on, and he had promised you payment. But then one of his horses died, and I think we decided that We'd call it even.
Oh,
I mean, we would have had that conversation on the sending stone. If he was
Yeah,
okay with that, then we
right.
call it even.
right.
Hired someone to go to maybe Neverwinter to get a horse or something.
Right. Right. Let's say that the party has informed Harbin, and he knows the situation on Big Al. The party has also made arrangements with Big Al. And we call the profit from those adventures what we gained. We call it good.
Yeah.
So I'd like to hear the party decide which way we're going from here, to the mountains or to the loggers' camp.
You said it was Barthen's brother, right? For the camp?
It was
Hmm?
Harbin Wester's brother.
Harbin Wester's brother is at the loggers' camp.
Gotcha.
Harbin would probably put more urgency on that one.
If we spoke with him and dialogued, he probably would have referenced that over any other next.
Good
mission.
point. I didn't even think about that. I'm sorry, my mind's been in a million different places. But yes, Harbin would have put place importance on what his brother's needs are.
Yeah.
Because
Go ahead.
and if you go to Neverwinter Wood, there's some different options we can take there. The Mountain Toes Gold Mine is down to the southwest or the southeast, and it's within a day's journey. But the journey to the loggers' camp involves a long rest.
In referencing Neverwinter Wood, I would have brought up at some point my familiarity with the area, whether it be with Harbin and the party.
The ranger's familiarity with Neverwinter Wood, and he knows these woods very well, is going to be that the party will never get lost when you're traveling in Neverwinter Wood. And I mean, as the dungeon master, I have the option to say, you guys get lost whenever you want. And, metagaming for a second. The module wants me to give you guys a stealth check to see whether you get lost in each hex while you're in Neverwinter Wood. But I am going to go ahead and rule that you're going to take them through Neverwinter Wood without any of that mishmash.
As we had discussed,
Seeing as you are a ranger and you're native to the woods and you have that forest feature that gives you can't be lost except by magical means.
right. And also, as we discussed I think it was Session 0 that I was in the southern area of Neverwinter Wood. So at least the entering there, I would have some familiarity, and then maybe onward, I may lose it.
Hello?
Your audio was cutting out. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm seeing unstable connection here.
Oh shit. Not again.
Yeah. Internets. But yeah, I was actually saying that I don't. I think that I'm familiar with the lower southern area of Neverwinter Wood. So maybe entering, I would be familiar, and then as we progress, I may be less familiar.
Okay. We'll say that. You're much more familiar with the southern rim of the wood, which we're going to enter first. And then as we move deeper into the wood, you will get diminishing returns. Is that the way the party wants to go?
I would like to buy my stuff.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that real quick. Let's head on over. Cutscene. We come upon Barthen's provision. Barthen is behind the the counter as usual, and Nars and Willow walk into his shop.
Good morning, Martin.
Hey there, Nars. What can I do for you?
I am looking for two things. I am looking for a component pouch, and I am looking for 15 vials.
Those empty glass vials?
Empty glass. Usually one gold piece.
You know I always keep those on stock for you, Nars. I have 20 of them right now. You just want 15 of them for now?
Sure. That'll do me well.
Okay, then. And what else was it you wanted?
A component pouch.
One component pouch. Yeah, we got those. Turns around and rummages through some boxes behind his counter. Comes up with a component pouch for you.
My friend here would like to buy a few other things, and I'll gesture to Willow.
Yes, young lady. What can I do for you?
Hi, I'm trying to make kind of a headdress thing, kind of a crown, something solid and stable because I want to mount something on the front of it. Do you have any sturdy wire that I could buy, or maybe maybe some glue or something?
Oh, sure. I have some glue. I have some horse hoof glue. It's right over there. It's just a copper, and I've also got the wire right back there. There's several gauges for you to choose from.
Alrighty.
And that's that's half a copper a foot for that stuff.
Alright.
Say, Nars, were you gonna go north for your next quest on the road? Were you gonna do the loggers round? Because I've got the supplies ready to go whenever you guys are.
I believe we are thinking about going there first. I think getting to him might be the most pressing concern.
Okay, you just come on back. Let me know, and I'll have the boys load up the cart, and you'll be taking the best ox because I trust you.
Thank you very much. At this time, I'd probably head back to the inn and try to convene with the group.
Yes. Let's sit down.
And you see Thardin sitting at the bar.
You
Drink
walk
it.
in.
So, I guess I bought a couple of feet of copper wire, or whatever kind of wire it was.
We'll just say you have some necessary components to build a crown.
Sweet!
Let me tell you, the dragon! And Thardin's telling stories to the people in the bar. Let me tell you, the dragon was so big, it picked up the horse by the mouth and carried it away. But I wasn't afraid. I ran out with my Paladin hammer in my hand and my shield, and I said, Thardin is not afraid of you. Come down and fight me. And it was scared, and it took off. Can you imagine that? Scared of a dwarf.
Yes, scared of a dwarf. It is funny.
You're gonna make a great grandpa someday.
As soon as he said, "Come down and fight me," I tapped the bar counter, and it just repeats what Thardin said over and over again.
Come down and fight me. Come down and fight me.
Turn it off.
Ah, there's my friends. Come have an ale. Make sure it's dwarven.
Toblin,
Hello, sir. What can I do for you, Nars?
I would like to get shit-faced tonight, so let's make that happen. And
Well, I know we've got the best stuff in town, don't you, Nars?
yes, I do. And can I have a biscuit?
One biscuit coming up, sir.
Thank you, sir. And I will join Thardin and drink.
And what is Thardin eating? I'm sure he's eating the thing that's on the menu tonight, isn't it?
Looks like, I think it's rabbit stew from
It's
what I
pork
can
chops, good sir.
Pork chops. Oh, very good.
Pork chops with rabbit gravy.
Ah, it tastes very delectable. Let me
With-
tell you.
With roast carrots and potatoes.
Ah, very good. This is a fine meal you cooked.
Oh, quite. Thanks, sir. I'll tell Grice you said so, sir.
Yes.
And
let me
Toblin
ask
disappears
you,
behind the bar.
it must be a dwarven recipe, isn't it?
Always on and on about dwarven recipes, aren't you, Thardin?
Well, you know, we dwarves, we help create the world you live in.
Well, I am very thankful.
Our culture has given you humans and elves a lot of things we've given you.
Including a lot of knowledge when it comes to mechanical workings.
Yes,
So
and
I
we've given
appreciate
we've
that.
given you great ale. We've given you knowledge of weapons, of warfare, and we've also given culture as far as architecture.
Well, I can't say humans haven't given you anything. I mean, we've given you all the wars you fought in. We're always fighting with one another. Seems like the dwarves always rally to our aid, though.
Ah, that we do. That we do, lad.
A chance to make Moradin happy.
Paladin would be very happy. Paladin was happy today. We stood our ground to that ogre and that dragon. You'll
Willow.
be happy when we slay it.
Do you
Yeah.
have any orc meat? You were talking about orc stew back in the day. I don't know if you remember, but you collapsed a bunch of orcs into a hole, and you were talking about making orc stew. But I thought it'd be hilarious if you pulled out a hand or something.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I remember that.
I'm sorry, I must have been disassociating. I don't remember that at all.
All good. It's probably
Yeah.
best you don't carry around limbs.
I wouldn't eat that anyway. Ugh.
Speaking
Yeah, I can't imagine it tastes very good.
where is Myrin?
Myrin,
Is Myrin.
is
Myrin.
has been at the end of the bar, attempting to craft arrows. He had
What? Swarm him!
Myrin, by the way, unbeknownst to the rest of the party, had procured 25 rabbits for the gravy that's on the pork chops you're eating.
Damn. Myrin, would you prefer to fire a bow or to throw a dagger? Because I can make your bow much better.
I seem to favor both, per the situation. However, I have seen that the benefits of your last craft in the blade was quite handy. So maybe seeing what it does in form of a bow, what you can provide.
Well, you might feel a little naked tonight, but I'll have to take your bow from you.
Scandalous.
Audible gasp.
Walking by the table, Anine Greywind, who's on her way out the door, said, "Speaking of bows, honey, you need to come in and settle up your tab with me, Shug. When can you do that?"
I think that we can do that anytime.
We were talking about your longbow. I'd be willing to take that thing straight across for the short bow that you bought from us. That was a nice piece.
I think that thought that I had that covered, but however, the bow is yours.
Well, delightful. Sorry, y'all. And she walks off.
So I will take Myrin's bow, and I will sit down at literally a bar stool, and I will, in front of him, take out my tinker supplies, my alchemical things, and I will begin to work on it, but it will take me a while.
And he'd probably watch you that whole time because he's pretty interested in the craft. Not really ever having the ability to craft his own things. He's been more and more interested in the creation of, and the usage of tools more than anything. So, anytime tools are being used, Myrin's keeping a watchful eye.
I would like to hear each member of the party weigh in on which quest would be set us next. Starting with Willow.
Nars and I were in that shop, and the gentleman there had suggested the logging, the logging thing, I believe. What do you guys think about that?
Yes, I think it would be something immediate that we do to help Mr. Harbin with his brother being up in that camp.
All of the party is aware of what Harbin Wester would have you do.
Yes, I say we do that first.
Yes, I believe that he was very concerned with Barthen, and if we do him this favor, I know that he would be very thankful. Also, but deciding between the two, if we were speaking of gain, they offer the same purse. So, if we favored in aiding the town, aiding a local provisioner, I think that is something that would be very helpful.
I'm in agreement. Yes.
Also, I do. I'm very, very, very excited to visit the woods again. I've been longing for the shade of the canopy.
That does sound nice. I've been feeling a little homesick.
Without everybody weighing in, the party seems quite set on Neverwinter Wood. We will take that one. Can you show us the map? And can you have Phandalin at the bottom of the screen and the river and Neverwinter at the top of the screen? Neverwinter River is where the logging camp is.
Start here.
Yes.
I need to reframe just a little bit.
The ranger takes out his map that is now well worn, many creases of rolling it up and putting it back in the tube, taking it from the tube as he's doing now. Just to talk above the law for a second, I've been looking at this and considering the constraints for the party's travel, and the dungeon master has concluded that if you leave from Phandalin in the morning, you can make it to the camp in 2 days, and that will require a primitive camp out in the middle of the woods. If you choose to go spend your long rest before you hit the camp at Falcon's Lodge, that will take 2 days to get to as well. And then the third day, you will continue to the logging camp.
Where is the lodge?
The lodge is on this southern headwater of the river that you can just barely see right now in the top of the screen. That little creek there that we're looking at on the map, it leads to a fork in the river. The Falcon's Lodge, yes, Falcon's Lodge is midway on that fork. And the camp is on the southern edge, on that third little snake in the river as it goes towards Neverwinter. Where the two rivers coming together, and then you go a little bit west, maybe a hexer and a half west. That is where the camp is. So looking at the group's capabilities, you can make it to the camp in 2 days, or you can make it to Falcon's at the end of the second day and not camp in the middle of the wood.
I say we stop at the lodge on the way.
I think that would be wise because we'd get a proper night's rest than being in the woods.
Right. And we can also warn the people in the lodge of what's to come.
Yeah, I think that also, as Thardin has been telling his stories, we should also be warning the town of the dragon afoot.
Yeah, that was a little too close for comfort.
Myrin recalls that he has purchased a bottle of fine wine for Falcon, which will earn the group great favor with the man, if the stories can be believed.
So, seems like we have more than one reason to visit the lodge.
Yes.
Right, we have a plan. Myrin, if you want to, we can go outside and you can try out your new bow.
Yeah. What's the time of day right now?
Actually, I'm lying to you because you need to sleep with it.
That's what I thought.
Time of day right now is the evening meal.
Okay. Well, I would just throw the bow on my back but express how anxious he is to give it a try.
I will tell you, it definitely looks different at this point.
What does it look like?
The string tied to the bow is a dark violet. And as you look down your bow, where you would normally knock your arrow, you can actually see a little piece of glass that has a reticle in it.
Looks like this will provide some finer focus.
And I will show you one other trick once you wake up.
So yeah, as we spend go through the night, I probably would be just like not to the group, but every once in a while just taking a look at it and just admiring different parts of the new look.
Before nightfall comes, the Lion Coster, would that be the place I could go to get my sword sharpened? Or is there a blacksmith?
Yes, sir. That is where you would pick up all types of weapons and armor.
Okay. Thardin's gonna
Nars?
head. Thardin's gonna head
sorry.
there to. That's sorry. He's gonna head there to have his sword sharpened and his and some of the dents taken out of his shield.
Yes, it's just on the other side of the courtyard, I believe.
Yes.
Sorry, Willow, I was cutting you off there.
Sorry?
I had cut you off. Sorry, you were about to say something.
Oh no, you're okay. I didn't realize you were still speaking. I was just gonna ask. I was gonna ask Nars if I could still take him up on that offer to use some of the tools for this crown.
Definitely. And I would just
Oh, rad.
stand up
Thank you.
so she could use them.
Alrighty, I guess I'll get to work on that in the meantime. Do I need to roll anything for that?
No.
How badass is it?
Let's move ahead, shall we? Just now a long rest. Everybody add a long rest to your character sheets if you have not. And the party will meet up in the morning time outside the inn. And we are ready to go travel into the wood, the Warriors' camp.
Before we go, I want to show Myrin his bow. What it does, because it's pretty fantastic.
Yes, yeah. I did forget about that. I'm sorry. Go ahead and have a demonstration of the bow as we are preparing to leave.
Yeah, so I pull it off my back and examine it in front of me.
Right. I will say, draw the bow back.
Pull back.
And as you pull fully back and you line up your sight, an arrow magically appears inside of your bow.
Magic arrows.
And just so you know, it's a +1 to attack rolls, +1 to damage.
Nice.
You no longer require ammunition.
That's fucking cool.
That's awesome.
So,
Also, your dagger of returning no longer works because I only can do
yeah,
so
because I
much.
can do one at a time. Yeah, I can remove that now. Got it. And so I would probably release it at just like the nearest tree, and watch the arrow pierce the tree with magic, and then I assume it dissipates upon its strike.
It does.
Yeah.
It flies through the air and it has the same purple color as your string.
There you go.
It's the same energy blast over and over. It moves back to the bow and he fires it again. Is that
Roger.
how neat? A +1 short bow that generates the arrow in your hand.
1. Okay, yeah, the quick customization tool on D&D Beyond works quite well for this.
Thank you, D&D Beyond. As the party gets ready to leave, you must first stop by Barthen's Provisions. Barthen tells you that his clerks have filled 2 crates with supplies as he hands you a sheet of parchment upon which is written an inventory of the crate's contents, foodstuffs such as dried meat, blocks of cheese, and loaves of bread, as well as casks of ale and flasks of oil. The heavy crates are loaded onto a 2-wheeled cart pulled by an ox. The oxen's name is Vincent, he says. I expect to see him returned and the cart in the order in which I gave him. Thank you. And with that, he bids you on your way, walks back into his shop.
We're off.
And party is off. Party moves towards the Tribor Trail once again. And you travel for a day, and as it gets dark, you are on the Tribor Trail, just due south. Let's see here. You guys are right around the printed Tribor Trail marker on that road at this point. You're halfway there, and you'll camp on the edge of the wilderness tonight. There's plenty of game for a campfire. Let's see here. I'm going to have to give the party a random encounter right now because of the way the dice roll. And so the party will camp and be attacked by...
Oh my.
Let's go ahead and roleplay a campfire scene, and you guys will get attacked. So you've made camp, stopped here to make camp on the Tribor Trail. You've got all of your dinner and everything done, and it's just chillaxing by the fire time. I just used some 20th century slang, which I endeavor not to do, but there it was.
There it is. Chillax. We are chillaxing. We are resting.
The party
well.
has started a fire.
I'm thinking.
Thardin's adding a couple of more logs onto the fire.
Yeah, and Myrin is attempting, even though he has this new bow from Nars, he's still actually trying to craft arrows just because he doesn't know how. And so he's attempting.
He's got that force of memory. He wants to go back into his back quiver or his belt quiver, wherever he keeps his arrows, and he
He's
I still
getting-
have those. I still have my arrows
Got
in,
your
in
normal
case I
arrow.
need a physical arrow. Yes.
So you have also a spare string. Do you just string it up then? Because that's a magical string.
But the magical string probably still has some tensile. So I mean, like I'm sure I could put an arrow.
You could add an arrow. It would just duplicate another one.
You could shoot an arrow.
With an energy arrow as well.
No,
I don't think you could. I think that.
No,
I mean,
I don't think you could. Either.
Yeah, I think
I'm
it would
just-
just be one
I
or
would
the other.
say if you had like an ability that was like multi-shot, or I don't know what.
Yes, right. Or like, well, yeah. I'll look into that as I move. I'll make sure I
You
approach
definitely
properly.
cannot put like an arrow and then fire 2 arrows. But
So the magic is negated if a real arrow is used.
yeah,
We'll play it that way.
Um,
You knock
yes,
a real
exactly.
arrow. If you knock a real arrow to the string, the magic will not work and the spell fails.
correct. Yes.
I like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
Are we going to run into that kid again? I say we blast him out of the water if we see.
If he talks like that next time.
That kid, he better not try to talk that kind of trash to this group again. I actually took him out of my random encounter table, so until I decide otherwise, you will never see that kid ever again.
Dang
I'm
it.
gonna be upset that his coin no longer speaks to him.
Right.
But you will see as you are sitting around the campfire. One of you has the greatest passive perception for this sort of thing, these nature sorts. But Willow hears a stick break that does not sound like a just natural sound in the forest, like a deadfall. It sounds like a large foot stepped on a
Oh.
stick.
So, do I need to roll for that?
No, you don't need to roll for anything. I'm giving you information that as the party relaxes by the fire, you hear this noise.
Guys?
And you look around. What
Did
is
you
it?
hear that?
I pull my bow out immediately.
Are we asleep or are we just kind of gathered around?
No, you haven't gone to bed yet.
Yeah, I'm definitely not.
Yeah, I'm putting logs on the fire to get it ready for the night's sleep. And
Right.
You were gonna do the thing where the dwarf and the human would rest for 8 hours and let
It's
the elf do
it's
their
our
transport.
normal
That is-
camping protocol.
That is what you have come to use
Yeah.
as standard operating procedure. But on this night, before bedtime, you hear a noise it's wildlife. Willow knows that it's wildlife, large wildlife in the forest. And
Hey, guys.
it's hidden from your dark visions.
yes, Willow.
There's something else there. Something big. I don't know what it is.
I don't hear anything. I just hear the fire crackling.
Yeah, something stepped on something behind me. It was big.
Well, it is the autumn time, you know. It could be just a deer crashing through the woods. That's all.
Could be a giant elk or something.
I believe the sound is too large for just
We'll
an elk.
cast dancing lights and I will send them
Yeah.
towards the noise.
Yeah, I do the same.
I get
Myrin-
my weapon. I get
Myrin
my weapon.
has his bow out if that happens. Yeah. Immediately. And is tracing the light's path.
Swear to God, if it's another.
It's, there was a large thicket of bush directly to your north.
Is it in the bush?
You see this large thicket of bush and it's rustling.
All right. Firebolt into the bush.
Here we go.
The firebolt strikes the bush and burns itself out.
Are reaction.
as the bush is very wet, and what pokes its head out of the bush is that of a basilisk.
Oh,
Everybody
shit.
roll initiative.
Whoa.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not good.
I'm up there.
15.
17.
Natural 20, so 23.
And
By 3.
Thardin got a 4.
I had a 23, just so you know, Dan.
23.
Yeah, I had a natural 20.
Natural 20. Of course, Nars is first to react with his firebolt. Just kidding. Basilisk pokes its great head with its glowing teal eyes out of the bush. And when I say bush, I mean like lots of viney undergrowth that has occurred here in the bright sunlight during the day. It is now night, and this location is about 50 feet from you. Nars, you're up. What do you do?
I have vision on it.
Is that
I can see it, obviously, right?
with the dancing lights? Both of your dancing lights are dancing above it. It looks like it's under large luminescent halogens.
All right. I pull out my green vial, and I put it in my palm, and I cast Ray of Sickness at it. Do-do-do. Well, hopefully that hits. 13.
The ray of sickness lashes from your hand, and a green ribbon of energy and sails over the beast's head.
Aw, damn. Alright, and I double back and get some range.
You use your movement to
Yeah, full movement, so instead of 50, it'd be 80 feet, right?
move south of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Myrin is up next.
Okay. Obviously, he's anxious to test out this new bow. So, with some hesitation, but also some strong confidence, feeling the power of Nars's last infusion, he pulls back the bow, purple string back, and it releases one of these magical arrows at the basilisk. I'm probably close enough to do that, I'd imagine.
The range of your short bow is the range you can go, which is something like 320 feet. So you're well within short bow range.
Yeah, I was just confirming with you.
Yeah. Roll for attack.
That is a 21 to hit.
The energy arrow flies into the basilisk. Roll for damage.
Um, 11.
11 points of damage.
Yeah. And I don't know if that has any, that magical property has any additional.
As a +1, I think. To
I
damage.
know, I have that in. That
Okay.
was in that. It's just if it was any specific damage type other than piercing.
We'll say it's the same piercing type of damage that a regular arrow would do.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I think that I'm just going to. Do I see anything that I can find a higher vantage point on that's nearby?
No, there's no change in elevation. There are trees.
Flatlands.
You're in a semi-forested pasture type of area, but there are trees.
No rocks, no nothing.
Bush. There's no rock. Mm-mm. No, you guys are north of where that stuff is.
Neat. Oh, flat land. I'll cruise maybe just maybe half circle the other way, just trying to make some spread us out a little bit. I need to keep some range.
You stay in a radius and you move
Yeah.
your 30 feet to the clockwise direction, the
Okay,
western
yeah.
or western direction. Yeah.
Okay.
That brings us to Willow.
Alrighty. How far away is this thing?
50 feet.
I'm sorry?
50 feet away from you.
Okay. I would like to cast Guiding Bolt as a first level spell.
Okay. Roll that attack.
What's my... I'm sorry, I'm having a really hard time reading
It's okay. You're good.
computer.
Maths are hard sometimes too.
Yeah. All the time. Alright, 18.
Roll damage.
Yeah. 4. 5. 4. 5. Okay. So 18?
Stunning force of that guiding bolt, like a laser, flies from your finger and strikes the beast square in the chest. How many points was it?
18.
18 radiant damage for the beast. It lights up like a Christmas tree. There's little sizzles of radiant light coming out of its eyes and ears. And it, you can tell it's hurting, but it comes at you. It charges with its movement. It bounds out of the bush and comes back at you. And it starts a gaze when it comes within 30 feet of our group, looking at the source of that blinding light that just hurt it so badly.
Can I, like, look down or away from it?
The drow pulls her hood over her eyes so that the beast cannot see her. She cannot make eye contact. And she averts her gaze. That brings us to Thardin. What do you do?
Thardin, where he was adding wood to the fire, and he had turned around and grabbed his warhammer. That was the first thing he could reach. Shieldless, two-handed with the warhammer, he charges at this basilisk. By Paladin, I smite thee! And he attacks, and he's
looking right at it.
He invokes. He blindly attacks, so he's charging straight on. So
With his eyes closed?
No, he's probably looking right at it as he's charging.
If he's looking right at it, you need to
Yep,
make
yep.
a dexterity check. No, a constitution save.
A Constitution save. Okay. All right. Does an 18 do it?
Yes, you pass. You start to
Okay.
feel yourself stiffening up and you shrug it off with the might of Moradin in your blood.
And he calls upon Moradin to invoke a channel of divinity upon the basilisk, and it's a vow of enmity. So
Yeah, your vow of enmity. Yeah.
yes, he has advantage on his attack rolls against this creature for 1 minute or until it drops to 0 or falls unconscious.
Okay, so that'll cancel out the disadvantage I was going to give you for shooting with your eyes closed. But hammer away at a straight roll because that'll cancel.
Okay. A 21. Does that hit?
Hits the beast. Roll damage.
Okay, 21. And damage. Okay, it's a two-handed warhammer is a D10 plus 3. Alright, D10. Okay, so it takes 13 points of damage. And by Moradin, I invoke! He invokes a divine smite as well into the creature, which will do an additional 2d8 radiant damage to the target. Okay, so it takes 7 more points of damage.
And
That's
with that, we will end your turn and come back to the top of the round.
Okay.
Nars is 80 feet to the to the south of you. Nars, what do you do?
From where I am, I fire a firebolt at it.
Roll for firebolt.
23.
The firebolt hits.
Only 4 damage. And that is going to be it. I will advert my gaze too, if...
The human. Oh, you got to roll with a disadvantage if you're averting your gaze.
No, afterwards.
Afterwards,
Fire.
you avert your gaze.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Fire strikes the beast in the throat and begins to burn, smolder. The beast does a little fire dance and it tries to put itself out as it starts to burn. It stumbles and it goes down and it's breathing very labored like, and it lets out its last breath and its eyes close and it is now dead.
Nice.
Good save, guys.
Interesting creature. Hey, Myrin.
Yeah.
Can you cut that thing open?
Let's see why not. Pull out a dagger. Walk up to it.
I am looking for certain chemical compounds that might be in that beast.
Well, I'm somewhat knowledgeable in skinning a beast, and so I go to dress it as I would assume dressing a I guess a reptilian creature as such. And so I start to slice it open and drop its innards.
Juicy.
What is it you're looking for, lad?
Well, this creature is capable of, I believe, maybe I'd have to roll for this, I don't know, but I believe it's capable of freezing someone, isn't it? With its gaze.
That is incorrect.
Oh. Well, I'll just take any sort of chemical compound I can find in it that I might use for a potion.
I would probably be looking for some kind of gland or something.
Yeah, a gland or liver, something like that.
Yeah, something maybe towards its throat or something like that. That's probably where instinctively a ranger would be looking.
The beast has the ability to turn its victim to stone with its gaze. And it would have a chemical compound within its body that secretes. Sidebar, get with me and I will figure out what that stuff is. I know I've read about it before. Let me look at the lore. We'll come back to that. We'll say that the Artificer draws an amount of liquid from
A
the
gland.
beast and puts it in one of his vials.
Awesome.
With that, you finish your resting. As per our normal, nothing eventful happens for the rest of the night, and the next day you will travel again through Neverwinter Wood. You enter the edge of the southern perimeter, and Myrin seems to have more of a spring in his step as you guys travel along. The pastured land that you were in gives way to bigger and bigger trees that are closer and closer together. They're very old. They're as big around as the tables in the Stonehill Tavern. And there are lots of them, but there are clear pathways through this forest. A blanket of autumn colors coats the ground as we are, within the last week, have crossed the threshold of the year where the color change really began. So it's a very beautiful hike through an autumn forest for our group that day. And I'd like to hear what's on all of our players' minds just briefly as we come closer towards Falcon's Lodge.
I would have asked Myrin about that creature, if he knew anything about it, or if he knew how the gaze worked.
If DM providing that I have encountered it in the past, I can either...
I'll say that you've heard some lore about the beasts.
Sure.
You may have not ever seen one in the wild. Let me.
I have not.
You've seen 12 of them in the wild.
Okay.
Have you ever fought one before? I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah, I think that I have been in a fight where I was not. It wasn't just me, but would detail an account where I had seen these beasts turn men to stone, and in their gaze, it is against the will of man to negate the effects of this whatever it is that they release from their gaze. So it must be something that comes from their either I actually would imagine something connected to their eyes or their brain, that would excrete such a chemical, because we would be talking in that context.
You would watch as Nars' mouth begins to water at the thought of what he could possibly do with some sort of regent.
Yeah, and noting, like, I noticed that you'd had those empty vials, probably prime for filling.
Would Willow, being with Druid abilities, would she be able to transform herself into one of these creatures?
A basilisk?
Oh, I'm sure.
Or, I mean, now
Willow has never seen a basilisk before.
now that she's
Until
seen
that
one,
Now that she has seen one, there is a threshold there of challenge rating that she can morph into at the level she's at. So no, she would not be able to. I think until she's 4th or 5th level.
Oh, okay. So at some point she could.
But when
Yeah, it'll be a
level,
minute.
she will be able to do that.
Very
In
good.
handy.
And
Yeah.
you travel along through the woods, and Willow is in 7th heaven in this forest environment. Whereabouts in geography does she come from, by the way? She comes from a wood, but I don't think it's Neverwinter Wood.
No,
It's probably the bigger one to the east.
probably, yeah.
Or the
Hers was
Underdark.
really probably somewhere around there because of where her parents came from.
Farther away from the Underdark is probably, I want to say, your parents would come to a wood being elven.
they would be most likely attracted to raise you in the woods. So you're seeing different sorts of flora and fauna that you've never seen before in this wood.
Yeah.
And as the day wanes, it starts to get dark earlier in the forest, but you notice a thin fog is sort of collecting. It's an autumn brisk eve approaching, and you come to some of the tributaries to Neverwinter River, and as Myrin's expert navigational skills will attest, you happen to come right up on Falcon's front door. So you see this river flowing through the wood. You hear it as you approach. And
I think oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, as soon as Myrin hears the river, in combination with the falling leaves, or even and then in combination with the color, even is bringing him to a feeling of comfort, of home, of belonging. He felt subtle senses of this being with the party, which he wasn't expecting, but now being home and with the party, it's like worlds colliding.
The thin fog you see extends to it's coming from the river. The temperature change is causing it. And you can see there's a brand new bridge that stretches across this river, and Falcon's Lodge is right on the other side. So the party comes down to cross his bridge. A 10-foot high palisade made of logs surrounds this compound. And you can see the main building, or you could, is 2-story, stone and wood affair, high-pitched roof, gables, windows, shutters, stone chimney. And attached to the main building is a blocky tower of gray stone. It's high roof, lined with battlements. Other structures in here include a 2-story stable house and a gatehouse, which you're seeing above the doorway on the other side of this bridge. That roof is enclosed by iron railings. Stone bridge is very sure beneath your feet as you stride up to his door and you clasp the large iron clacker and knock at Falcon's gate.
Anybody here?
Said the door.
Hello. We've come from Fandolin.
An old man appears over the top of the gate, and he says, "Hold on a tick, I'll be right down." And you wait for him to come down and let you in. And
Thardin looks back at Myrin. Is this normal?
Give it a moment.
the elf says. Shortly, the door opens, and before you is a stumped man, long silver hair, balding on top, and he beckons you, follow him inside. He says he'll take your ox to the stables, and the boy will look after it as you guys stay here.
Interesting place you have here.
Oh, thank you. We like it. Many people say that it is the only safe haven for travelers within Neverwinter Wood. And we get many travelers here who come for the game. They never probably would be able to take care of themselves overnight in the wood if not for this place. And he leads you inside.
Is it just you and your boy?
Oh, no, it's me, myself. My name is Corwin. I'm the butler, you might say. Pell's the stable boy. Falcon lives here. And if you'll allow me to direct your attention to the Discord, I've dropped a graphic of Falcon. He'll be right back. He's just stepped out. And he leads you into the dining hall. It is getting towards dinner time, and dinner is almost ready.
How long until he returns?
Shouldn't be too long, and the party sits down to wait for Falcon, who shows up directly, and he's all smiles. He's this big man, fighter type. He wears a big fur-lined cloak with studded leather armor underneath. 6 foot tall, black hair, the broad shoulders. You've seen this guy. He looks like a superhero.
Yeah. Do I recognize him from anything from my past?
He laughs at your expression, and he says that he's honored to have the great Myrin staying with at his home tonight. You guys have never met, but he's heard of your exploits.
Great.
You have heard of him, but you've never stayed here before. You've never met him in the flesh.
Don't know that.
He knows that you're a hero in battle.
Don't know that my name's never been
Local,
associated with
local boy. Here it makes good. Hero in battle type of story. I don't know if I've over exaggerated it for you.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
He's heard of you.
Okay.
He's happy that your presence is on the premises tonight.
Sure.
Well, how have you been making out with this dragon trouble I've been hearing about?
Don't know that we've made out anything just yet. We have had eyes
It
on it.
ate a horse.
Yes. It did eat a
Pipes
horse.
up the young Drow is who she's still under her cloak from the basilisk, is still pulled way down over her eyes, and you hear her pipe in say, what did you just say?
It ate a horse?
You saw it eat a horse?
Yes,
The dragon?
we were camped out, and the dragon came down and ate the horse. And I chased the dragon away. He was afraid of me. I'm not afraid of no dragon. Thardin Silverhammer. I am not afraid of no dragon.
Well, Falcon says, I have news that coming as far away as the Tribor, there have been dragon sightings all over the area. I haven't seen it personally, but the trees this time of year, they provide the canopy. We can't really watch the skies very well from the wood.
You'll see this dragon from a mile away with this autumn leaves that are on the ground. This dragon is white, and he'll show up very nice.
The leaf fall has just begun. Isn't it beautiful? At this point in the fall colors, there's some on the ground, but most of them are still up in the trees looking majestic. I don't know if you have too much of that in your experience, but here in the wood, it's grandiose this time of year. The leaves are still on the trees. They're all beautiful colors, and it's a great time had by all. Weather is brisk, not too hot, not too cold. It's just too bad about all the orcs. We've seen a lot more of those ugly brutes in these parts as of late.
I believe Al referenced this.
Well, you saw some of the evidence of it at Al's place.
Well,
We
he
killed
said
them all.
there was accounts of orcs in the area prior to his attack.
At this time, looking around the room, the dining room that you've all seated yourselves in, as Corbin begins to bring out plates with food and tankards of ale, Myrin recalls the bottle of wine that he has stowed away for just this occasion.
I'd be retrieving it.
Falcon
from a bag.
goes on. Sorry.
I'd be retrieving it from a bag.
Falcon goes on about how he hates the orcs, and you begin to look around this dining room, and you see a lot of
trophies hanging on the walls,
Like
which
orc-
are orc heads.
I see we share a distaste for these creatures.
Oh, I can't stand the ugly brutes. He looks at you with knowing eyes.
I like you, lad. I hate him with a passion.
Corbin mumbles something under his breath about how we ought not to display the butchery so prominently, and he walks back to the kitchen for more food.
Must have a weak stomach.
Yes, it's a terrible shame. Everybody is in that is local to the area is in agreement. This dragon disruption is what's causing it all. I'm even hearing tales that the orcs are in league with these half-orc spellcasters in the forest. They've been seen in company, keeping company together. And all in all, this very creepy, nasty lot, if you ask me.
Orcs and spell casting does not sound like a good mix.
It is not.
Are they
my
smart
intel.
enough to spellcast?
Well, they're half orcs, you see. Orcs will just breed with anything.
Half breeds.
So they're sort of half orc, half human, very primal, from what we've been able to tell. A lot of them dwell southeast of here in a ruined woodland manse. It's funny.
Nars, have you heard of this blasphemy?
Speak up there, son. What'd you say?
I'm talking to have you heard of this blasphemy?
I mean,
Nars, this is something out of the evil gods, orcs, and spellcasters, and
I mean, I've heard of a lot of different things casting spells, so it's not too out of the ordinary.
Yes, many creatures have an innate spell casting ability.
Right. Have you experienced them raiding your hunting lodge?
Well, it's funny you should ask. I was afraid they might do such a thing. We've been trying to stock up for a siege. I'm afraid it's coming.
Do you think it'll arrive here tonight or within a couple of days?
I wouldn't say tonight, but you never know with these types of things. Say,
I'm very versed in warfare. I could show you how to defend this place.
perhaps if this party would be interested in taking up a preemptive activity, I could reward you in some way.
What activity would that be?
Go over to the manse and check it out. Tell me what their numbers look like.
A scouting mission, or do you want us to deal with them?
Use your best judgment. Tell you what, if you go over there and you find a presence of such an evil and you manage to take it out, I'll give you my set of boots of the elven kind. They're magical boots.
That could come in handy. Also, spellcasting kind of intrigues me. Might be able to find something of use.
Killing orcs intrigues me.
I tell you what, after you finished your business west of here, why don't you come back, rest up. I'll feed you, and you can tackle that quest you'll do for me the next day.
Sounds like a plan.
Aye. Sounds good to me too.
I would look to the party. Does everyone agree?
Yeah, Myrin
Sure.
would nod in agreement.
I'm in. If it comes to killing orcs, I'm in.
I'm always along for the ride.
Falcon looks happy. And then it's an agreement.
And then Myrin would just ask for maybe like some details on the location if he has any.
Oh, he has some. We'll talk about that. Yeah, I'll go over my notes and I'll give you some intel before I send you over there. So tonight, it's gotten a little late for that. I would say just enjoy the lodge. I guess if you pour me a bottle of that arbor from Waterdeep, I'll give you the guest house for the night.
Oh, this?
He sees it in your hand. Is
I-
that what I think it is?
From what
Is that a 14 is that a 1401?
From what I hear, this is a favorite of yours.
He laughs.
But hand it over to
I
him.
like him. He's a drinking man.
Bart Tobelin set you up with that, didn't he? He knows my tastes.
He did.
He uncorks it. He pours a glass for everybody at the table, whether they asked for it or not, and you guys drink to your new entrepreneurial endeavor.
DM, this is very important. What is on the table?
What is on the table?
I'm looking for a biscuit.
I'm looking for a biscuit. Nars has a strong affection for biscuits.
There are no biscuits on the table. What has been served to you is elk stew, a very hearty dish with wild rice, mushrooms, elk, carrots, and onion. And there are fine scones to accompany the meal, but no biscuits.
Scone will have to do.
It's a pastry of sorts. Should suffice.
This is a fine stew.
Thank you. Yes, Corbin makes it special. I killed the meat, and he does the gardening. And with that, he lets you go to bed, and he goes upstairs to retire to his room. Everybody should have a long rest.
Myrin's
And
gonna
if
sleep
there
out
is
on
no
the
more-
porch.
If there's no more business you'd like to do at Falcon's Lodge for the night, we'll just call it a long rest, and we'll get you started early morning.
Sure. Myrin spent the evening out on like the deck of the lodge, just admiring the river as it flows past.
Slept outdoors.
Yeah.
Thardin retires to one side of the guest house or room that's in the guest house, and he opens up his backpack and brings out his holy symbol to Marvin and places his weapons down below the symbol, and he gets on his knees and he starts to pray to Mordin, and for him to do well in battle tomorrow during the scouting mission.
Very good.
So, is there anything that I could do with this headpiece that I made? Like, honestly, I kind of made it in hopes that, like, it's like when approaching an enemy, it's like, oh, there's a skull on my head. There's an animal skull on my head, like.
Be
but, like,
cautious.
I'm hoping to boost intimidation
I
because her personality is not very intimidating.
There you go.
I'm going to tell you that right now, everything you're doing with that skull that you took from Butterskull Ranch and the ornamentation, that's all for flavor. And I'd hope that you would draw that and what it looks like, but it will not give you any advantages in battle.
Wah wah.
Maybe Nars can enchant it at some point.
Maybe Nars can enchant it. Then we'll talk.
Give me time. and I'll
I'm
figure it out.
just thinking, first impression, like, damn, she's spooky.
Everybody already thinks that when they see you. You look like the Grim Reaper.
Yay!
I'm gonna try telling that to a girl in real life.
You look like the Grim Reaper.
That'd be like the best compliment ever. Are you kidding me?
Oh.
Some of us didn't outgrow our emo goth phase.
Some of us did not. I myself include myself with that batch. I want to go ahead while we're stopped here. If we want to take a break to bio, if we need to, for like 5 or 10 minutes, if we want, and then we'll come back and go another hour.
Roger.
Okay.
Sounds good to me. So, we back at 9 or?
Yeah,
we
let's
just
make it
make it
back at
5?
9. Let's make it back at
Okay.
9. Reconvene. The next morning, you follow the river basically downhill from Falcon's Place and to where the headwaters of Neverwinter meet. You follow the river along the southern edge for a time, a few hours. Come to think of it, it's a bit of a trek. Yeah, it's going to take you half the day, at least, to get from Falcons to this camp. So you ride, and you have a nice little ride through the walk through the forest. Excuse me, living in the past. And after this time, you come upon this logging camp that runs about a couple 100 yards on the beach. It's got to be. It spreads along the south shore of this river when you come along it from the east to the west. And so I did send an image to Discord of the lay of the land for this one, since it's mostly just out of doors in this great big expansive space. I figured it might help you visualize things about it, and you can see what you would be able to see. These tents. There's these tents on the shore of the camp. There's a pier. There's a building. Just looks like a 1 or 2 room building. Up on there's a ridge on the western side, and there's another group of tents there to the south. And then you can see some ruined buildings in among this scene, and a few trees on the edge here. Most of them have been cut down in this clearing. And you approach from the east on the southern bank.
So
Near the dock stands a cabin with logs stacked under an awning. Other cabins close by have been torn down. It's the ones up on the western side of the hill. There's one in the middle of the group, and those are just stone chimneys and foundations. And there's a grim silence hanging over this place, and you can't see anybody around. You would expect to come on a work camp with people working, but it's eerily silent. What do you do?
Thardin's going to use his divine sense to discern if there's anything evil in the area.
You don't feel any evil in the area.
I think that I would also be, as he's doing that, I think I would actually be engaging my primeval awareness. To see if I detect any undead, fey, fiend, elemental, apparition.
You don't.
Not expending.
Is there any signs of like a fight or disturbance?
Where are you exactly in this place? As you come up, you're on the shoreline, or are you kind of?
You said we came up on the eastern bank?
Eastern bank of the shoreline. So.
Yeah.
So we're kind of near the
You're on a
camp.
path. There's a pathway. You see, you're coming to a pathway.
Oh, okay.
Find this path, and you're.
Right. I would probably try to take a look at the camp as I'm approaching it.
Okay.
I have my shield and my hammer ready.
If I see a dwarf pull out a shield and a hammer,
You just see it's this southernmost circle you're in, and as you walk to the road, you sort of walk out sort of in between these two camps, looking at either one. And roll an intelligence check, Mr. Dindrar.
Oh, sure.
Investigation, excuse me.
Investigation.
Yeah.
even better.
So yeah.
So the party is standing in a group on this sandy beach in between these two circles of tents.
Were we just following
One to your north and one to your south.
Were we
Well,
just
the-
following the river line as
You
we
noticed a pathway that was leading along the river,
Okay.
and so you started following that pathway. That's how you come upon the place.
Okay.
And the pathway
confirming.
it runs parallel with the river. It brought you here. This is us standing in a group
Sure.
between the north and south campsites. And what's that roll?
I rolled a 10.
You can deduce that the humanoid figures were killed and dragged down into the sand by burrowing monsters.
Oh, that's fun. I would relay that to the party.
I would be maybe even trying to use my my natural explorer ability to maybe determine the number of creatures that were doing this.
Mm-hmm. You see that they looks like there's more than just one.
More than one.
Maybe.
Okay. I'd relay that to the party.
And what is everybody doing? You're wandering around. You see these tents, dead campfire in the middle, bedrolls.
Kind of just trying to stay aware of my surroundings, kind of turning in circles.
As you look, turning around in the circles, you see that some of the fabric and whatnot on the bedrolls and the tents looks to be dissolved. As if it
Would,
melted.
oh,
This is for what? I didn't catch that.
hey guys,
It dissolved into like a messy, yeah.
Okay.
You
Yes,
see
Willow.
traces of acid would do.
oh,
Willow, can you tell what this substance is?
I think it's acid.
She
Something
doesn't.
spitting acid.
She's deduced correctly.
Don't touch it.
Yeah, no.
What kind of creature would do this?
Thardin wonders aloud.
Would I know what kind of creature would do this?
I don't think you would.
You
I
would?
don't think you would have ever had any experience with a beast like this.
Okay.
Is there anything that I can roll to deduce? I'm standing right in front of it. I was talking to Willow, so
Roll an investigation check.
although I'm not very keen in investigation, this time it favors with a 16
Yeah?
above normal.
Yeah. Myrin confirms the Sister Druid's suspicions that it was, in fact, an acid that dissolved these things.
Okay.
And What is Thardin doing?
Thardin's keeping watch out on the water there to see if there's down by the sand where they think it dragged. where the
So you're walking
creatures-
around on the beach.
I'm looking down on the beach to see if I can get any see if I can see any footprints or any idea of how big this creature might be.
Where's Willow walking? Walking. She's just standing still.
I think she's just kind of standing still, like.
We were at the tents, right? Looking at the
You guys are standing
acid.
in the midst of the two tents. You can see from this distance that it looks like some of the tents were melted with acid.
She's not real sure what did that, and it scares her. So she's like turning in circles, kind of paranoid, watching her back.
Watching your back. Okay, like watching all the other party members to see what they're doing.
Yeah, just kind of trying to keep an eye on everything as much as possible. I don't know what to expect.
Thardin, down on the beach, you see some pallets, empty pallets and things, equipment they would have used to load the logs onto the ships that would come to the port. The dock, rather.
You might need to recall that again for Thardin.
Sorry, what was that?
Did you hear me?
He did not.
No, I didn't.
10-9. Gotcha. Thardin, as you walk down on the beach, you would see just sort of abandoned tools and things that the loggers would have used to load their cargo onto the boats that would have been stopping at this dock. But nothing of value. And it doesn't look like any action went down over here. It just looks abandoned.
And no footprints at all, or any? I mean,
Over
any-
here, yes, you see. I mean, you see signs of activity. There was activity here until recently, but I don't know. Maybe after a few days, that stuff gets swept away by winds and shoreline. I don't know.
Right.
You see nothing really of interest over here other than that stuff.
Okay.
But you do see this room, this log cabin building to your west.
Myrin would look over towards the ruined area, maybe just trying to evaluate what
The fight down
destroyed
area,
what-
you mean?
Yeah.
The place where the squabble had happened? Not really that ruin, but yeah, it's been deserted, and
Oh, okay.
you can tell something took these men.
Gotcha.
In what direction did it take them?
Down
Do they appear to be?
into the ground,
Into the
Oh,
ground.
ground.
Into the ground. Okay.
to burrows, collapsed burrows behind them that you can't follow.
Okay.
That's what you can deduce with that investigative skills that the party has.
Should we go cabin to cabin and see if there's any survivors or whatnot?
Is there only one cabin?
There's only one erected cabin. It seems like
There's
there's
one-
destroyed
There's one log cabin building, but
destroyed structures of sorts. We can't
there are
tell what they are.
several. There are several destroyed structures. There's one log cabin, and then there are tents where the men lived. The tent city.
I was wanting to evaluate the destroyed structures and to see.
I got you.
Yes.
Sorry, man. Which one are you going for?
Just the one that was nearest the tents.
Okay, yeah, the one in the center. You walk
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
and you search.
Yes.
All that remains of this once cabin that stood here is a ruined fireplace whose chimney is mostly collapsed, and a stone foundation that the floor was made of.
Is the door closed
What door?
on the cabin?
Yeah.
I'm going to toss a potion to.
By the way, what was your daily potion? I'm sorry.
It was my potion of boldness.
Okay. You talk.
And I will ask Thardin to drink it and run in there.
All right, lad.
Okay,
I
so
think I'm gonna go catch up with the boys now. By the way.
Yeah, I come
Okay.
up from the beach and I catch up with them as
So
well as he calls.
Myrin's in the center.
I'm
that
down there,
center
yeah.
green, and you're searching.
Yes.
Roll for that. Give me an investigation.
Okay. Oh man, 8.
You find, when looking in the chimney,
Mm-hmm.
buried in the sort of the old debris that's in there,
Which is really the only thing that stands anyways, so I would be naturally drawn toward it.
you find 13 tiny androgynous stick figures dipped in pig's blood, inscribed with tiny lightning bolts and tied together in a bundle with hair.
I
Woohoo!
do
Witchcraft!
not touch it. I detail the account.
Do you say anything about it?
Not to myself, no. However, I probably would, if I don't see anything else of interest, I would come back and I would tell Willow.
You definitely just see a ruined building, but that cuts your eye.
Yes.
And you want to show it to Willow?
Yeah, because is everybody else up on the deck? Is that what I gathered of the?
I think the other guys in plan other location on this map right now are about to kick in a door
Okay.
or something, just charging into a room. But you first are looking at these
Yeah, I haven't left. I mean,
little artifacts.
If I'm still investigating them, yeah, I could still be.
It's definitely
looking
odd.
at 'em. I'm not touching
odd
them.
thing to say. You don't touch it.
I
I
don't
got.
touch
I
it.
got you. Yeah, I got you. But you show it to Willow.
I don't show. I would go and at least tell Willow wherever I see her at. You got to see this.
Okay. Is it some spooky shit?
I wouldn't. I don't know such terms. However, I do know that if there is one person that knows about it, it's you.
Alrighty, let's see the damage.
Myrin shows Willow the fireplace.
So I'd walk her back and then point out these 13 stick figures and maybe say also that. Do you think that this is the 13 that may have been working at this loggers camp?
Oh,
Willow,
probably
make a religion check,
Definitely.
please.
Yeah. You said religion check?
Please.
Yeah, give me just a second. I'm going to look up the modifier.
I've got it right here in front of me. Thank you, D&D.
Great. Got a 12. 16. Yeah, I have it on my thing.
Willow's seen this kind of thing before in other cultures.
This is some grade A spooky shit.
She
Good
has a divine eye enough for magic that she knows to tell that these are totems whose purpose it is to bring ill fortune to all who reside near it. And furthermore, she knows how to break that spell.
Sweet.
All I will
I
say
would like
is
to see that then.
I sure hope that there were 13 people at this loggers camp and not 9. I would hate to be the other 4.
What do you do?
Me?
Yes.
You said I have the knowledge to reverse this, right?
Well, I'll put it this way. You have enough magical know-how
to know that to dispel any of this totem's effects, one must merely destroy it. Doesn't take any dispel magic or ritual for this type of magic to work. You just need to destroy these totems.
Alrighty.
All right, she says.
Ooh.
But what do you do?
Is
So, how big is your fireball? Oh wait, no, that's
No.
sorry. Let's see here.
Meanwhile, on the other side of camp, Nars has basically dared the paladin to run inside the building. What
After
did
he
you do?
drinks the potion.
After he drinks the
After.
potion, run inside the building.
I drink the potion. What does it taste like, Nars?
Alright, it tastes like a potion of boldness, which basically, whenever you, okay. You can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to every attack roll and saving throw you make for the next minute. So after you burst in, if you get into combat, you'll have a d4 for every attack roll and saving throw.
What does it taste like?
Oh, I mean, it
I
probably
bet
tastes
it's
terrible.
delicious. Bold root beer is what I'm
Bold.
thinking.
It tastes like the hair of a cow.
Ah! It tastes like dwarven ale. It's delicious, lad.
The dwarf nails back the potion, and then what?
And I with my hammer and shield ready, I bash through the door,
He bashes through the door and
leading with the shield.
runs into the room and in a bluster, and he looks inside to see an office and tool storage.
Any movement inside of it?
There's a large room,
Yep.
and it's cluttered with logging equipment, saws and things,
Right.
harnesses for climbing trees. And as the foot vibrations fall into the floor, you hear a rumble, and an ankeg bursts through a hole in the floor. Everybody roll initiative.
$17.
13.
16.
10 for Thardin.
I'm sorry, my children. I'm on the wrong encounter. Gonna have to ask
Wow.
again momentarily.
Wow.
Come on, encounters.
The last thing you want to do in a room is drop the D4s, and I just did that. Be wary of my steps.
Okay, everybody's initiative rolls, please. Nars,
13.
Thardin,
10.
Willow,
17.
Myrin.
16.
You guys are outside,
Yes.
In
Yeah,
fact,
I was wondering if we were actually in the initiative order. I mean,
you guys just witnessed this from where you're at.
We heard it.
Where you stand. You saw. You're
saw
with
it.
it.
Okay.
You're in sight lines of this doorway that
Great.
he went through
Okay.
to get into there.
Okay.
And you see Nars is cheering him on, and so you're going to be in this initiative because you know there's something going down over there.
Shaking my head in disapproval.
And you all rolled better than the Ankeg. Give yourself some applause.
Pat on the back or shoulder.
Okay, so let me set the scene for you just a minute. The cabin that you're in has a wooden floor, and you're in the larger room. You can see a doorway, another doorway that leads to another room, and all those things around. And with that, let's... Ooh. I got a graphic for you I'm going to throw on the Discord really quick. This thing erupts out of a hole in the floor. It comes up through the ground, burrows up through the ground. There it is. It's ugly. It's got these big mandible pinchers on front and then these two mantis-like claws. It's a giant, sort of a bug, for lack of a better word, insect, large insect-type creature.
It looks like fun at parties.
Oh, great fun at parties.
I hear he really tears shit up.
Come here, battle project. All right. But I did lose your initiatives. What were they one more time?
Myrin 16.
Nars 13.
Willow 17.
Thardin a 10.
So you've just seen your fellow adventurer charge through this door, Myrin, and you have the first 6 seconds to react. What do you do?
Did Willow have a 17?
Oh, did she?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I got that wrong. I gave her a 13 on that. My bad.
Yes.
I do like that number, though.
Calls him how it sees him, though. You gotta get that roll.
Yeah, I'll just start running it again. Technology. Okay, Willow, 17. This is once and for all.
Yeah.
Nars was
Nars
12.
Nars at the 13, right?
Nars,
Yeah,
13.
Yeah.
Thardin was 10, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Myrin was 16.
16, just behind Willow.
And Willow, seeing the same thing Myrin saw, reacts a half a second quicker than him and gets her turn first. What do you do after you see Thardin crash through this door and hear him yelling inside for Moradin?
Oh God. So I can see this monster, right?
No. Only
You and-
Thardin
you and-
sees the
you and-
monster. It came at him inside. He just ran in that room. You can't see anything beyond that. But you hear him yelling inside.
Okay. So I hear him yelling. I'm gonna go towards where I hear him yelling.
Okay, with your movement, you can make it halfway thereabouts. Halfway from
All
where
right.
you are to the house.
That works. I'll just head that way.
Unless you take the dash action, in which case you could make it 12 squares.
Okay. I can do that.
And you'll make it almost to the doorway with your turn, and it'll end there. Myrin, you're up. What do you do?
Can I see anything through any window?
No.
No windows to be seen.
There's some small windows to the structure, but you can't see the action from where you are. There's too much glare.
Too much glare. Okay, I am going to dash from this lower area up to at least the building. And is there any? Do I see lower level windows to look through?
There is one on the western side.
On the western side.
No, that's the door. I'm sorry. There's one on the southern side.
Southern side. Okay, that
Yeah.
should be within my range, right? To
Yeah.
dash to. I just want to dash to that and then peek in the
Doors
window.
the door's on the east side, so you saw him go in through this door, but it's too dark in there to see from.
Yeah. Okay, so but I can go up to the window and peek in.
You could go to the southern window to peek in.
As I want to dash that way with as I'm dashing, pulling my bow out, and then just and that's probably going to be most of my turn, all of that action.
Yeah. So we'll say that you get to the window.
Mm-hmm.
Up close, the glare doesn't matter. You can see through the window into the interior of the room, and you see that he's facing off with this monster.
Okay. Is the monster's back to me? Or side side profile, I guess, right?
He ran in, so he's blocking your view. It's beyond him. It came out as sort of the middle of the floor when he made it to the middle of the room.
Got it.
That's where it was disturbed and came up at him.
Got it. Well, so yeah, I am. I'm just peering through, and let's see. Yeah, I think that I'm just going to have my bow ready, and being prepared for my next turn.
Nars.
I imagine I can see it. I'm behind Thardin.
You can see in through the door. You see what's happened from the doorway. I mean, yeah, you're on the doorway as soon as he's done it. You're right behind him. You didn't think he'd actually do it.
I will fire a firebolt at this thing.
Okay. Roll for that, Pat.
A 21. And 6 damage.
I mean, obviously that shot hits and the firebolt burns the beast for, what did you say, 6 damage?
Yeah.
You see it put some scorch marks on the outside of the armor, like cooking a mud bug. Did you say 6 damage?
Yep.
Thardin, you're up. This thing is kind of taking you off guard, but your wits are about you, and you're in melee range of this beast.
I'm Moradin! I smite thee! And I call upon my channel divinity to get advantage on him.
Plus a D4.
Plus the D4. Yep. So does a 21 hit him?
It does hit him. Roll damage.
All right.
Your hammer, right?
Using my hammer, yep. So 11.
Bring the hammer down as if cracking open a
Okay.
Crustacea.
And then I smite as well.
Uh-huh.
So it takes 11 from the hammer, and then 19, 23 points of damage.
Oh, yeah.
The dwarf cracks open one of the beast's arms, and you see its tendrily muscles hanging out, and it's hurt, but it's still up, and it looks menacing at its attacker.
and it's going to try to bite you. And its mandible tries to crush around you. But it was not expecting the awesome power of the magical armor that you wear, and isn't able to get you within its grasp. Willow, it's back to your turn. You're near the entrance of this cabin.
Alrighty. I guess I'll go inside.
Yes, you go inside. You see Paladin Dwarf facing off with this giant yellow bug.
Alright, do I still have action, or did I use all my movement?
You have your action.
Hell
You
yeah!
used only a little bit of your movement getting inside. Are you going up to it? If you
Alright,
go inside
cool.
the room, you're going to be very close to this beast.
I think I'll stay just outside of it, but
She peeks
where I
in through
can
the
see
doorway.
it. And I would like
Drow
to cast.
peeks in through the doorway.
And I'd like to cast Guiding Bolt. Has a 120-foot range.
You're well within range.
Woo! 18
18.
plus 4 is 22.
She makes short work of the beast. Why don't you describe the death of this thing?
Ooh. Okay. You don't want me to roll damage?
You don't need to roll damage.
Alright. Radiant light shoots from the end of my wolf staff. And it hits it. And all this bright white light shines from every orifice. And it explodes.
Nice.
You guys are looking around. The guts of this thing are sort of coating the floor and some of the wall. There's a doorway to the north. And you hear movement behind that doorway. Hello? Who's out there? Have you come to rescue me?
Yes, we did.
He won't
Come on out.
He won't come out of his office though.
Okay, well, we're going to come in.
The door is locked.
Hey, I'm gonna wild shape into a mouse. Can I squeeze under the door?
Yeah.
Alright. I'm wild shaping into a mouse and squeezing into the door.
A mouse wriggles under the door. There's a knot hole in the door, and so you've just seen a mouse go through the hole in this door. And the mouse on the other side, who is Willow, sees a man up on his desk, too petrified to come down. He's a portly gentleman, gray hair. It's kind of, he seems a little too nicely dressed and out of place to be in a place like this, wearing what he's wearing.
Alright, then I'll go back to my draw form.
As
So I can
the
speak to him.
magic glimmers around you, and this man sees this dark girl appear out of nowhere seemingly. He looks even more wide-eyed at you, but you can tell that he's quite shell-shocked.
Hey!
Hello. Hello there.
It's okay. You don't have to be scared. I think we took care of the monster. What are you doing here?
I am Tybor Wister. I am the headmaster of this place, the foreman, you might say. All of my men are dead, and I've barricaded myself in this office.
Alright, well, I think we took care of the problem. Would you care to come out and speak to my friends?
Did they kill all the beasts?
I believe so. We took care of one of them at least.
One of them.
How many are there?
I couldn't hazard a guess to say. I think I saw... They all look the same. Blast! There must be at least 3 of them.
Alrighty. Well, I'm sure we can find the others and take care of those too. Are you hurt? Are you okay? Do you need anything?
I'm not hurt. I could use an escort back to Phandalin, maybe.
Oh, good. We've been kind of staying there for a bit. I'm gonna go and open the door, and my friends are on the other side. I think honestly they know a little bit more about it. I'm kind
Willow,
of.
are you okay in there?
I'm great. Everything's just fine.
Everything's not fine.
Okay, well,
Not
I'm
until
gonna
you
go ahead
kill
and-
all those beasts.
I'm
Or
gonna
make
go
them
ahead and
go
open the
away
door.
somehow.
How barricaded in this room is?
He's just behind a locked door.
Okay, I'm unlocking the door.
The Drow unlocks the door and lets the adventuring party in on the gag.
Thardin rushes into the room. Are you okay, lass?
Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm
The
so good.
Druid nods in affirmation.
Who's this guy?
Cyber Westford, at your service. I'm Harbin's brother.
Is this the guy we're supposed to find?
I think so.
What were we supposed to do here? What was our
Nars!
mission? You look outside, you notice Vincent the ox with your cart.
Delivery.
You remember your minds flash back to the parchment that was given you that you need this man's signature on in order to complete this quest.
I would turn the
Delivering
corner.
goods to the logger camp.
I would turn the corner. He probably would recognize me, right?
No, he did not spend much time in Phandalin. You never met him.
Okay.
Nars, he says he's a Westminster. What is their names? Webster?
Part of the Wester family.
Wester, yeah.
Yes.
Ivor Wester, it's a service. Did you kill all those beasts?
No, not yet.
Killed one.
We're going to deal with the problem. That being said, do you know anything about these creatures? How I can lure them out?
I'm not an expert. I only know that they're quite vicious. And they killed all my men.
Do you have any
And
information?
that one would have killed me had you not stopped it. Thank you very much.
Do you know why they came?
I have no idea. I'm sure I don't know.
We found some religious elements outside of your camp.
I wouldn't know anything about that. These men, they're all die-hard pagans. They worship some of the gods, but only the partying ones, if you know what I mean.
Interesting.
He's referring, of course, to his men that have been killed. He's not ever gotten eyes on those totems that are in that ruined chimney.
Well,
That's no
I know
idea
how
what
to
you're talking
fix
about.
those.
Willow, what do you do?
How close am I to the totem?
It's where you left it, I assume, in the
They're
fireplace
on the
building next
fireplace
door.
on the
Ruined
hearth.
building next door.
They're sitting on
Okay,
the
I
hearth
just
edge.
didn't know how far away I was from it.
Weren't they
Well,
across
Myrin had
the
just
threshold?
showed them to you, and I gave you the information, and you were like, okay. And then we charged into this room and fought one of these ankegs.
Oh yeah.
By the way,
Yellow
Myrin,
bugs.
Well, then I'll probably go back to the other room, and I think I'll probably pull out my wand of pyrotechnics and shoot a fireball or two into the fireplace to get it going.
The
You said
wand
the
of
totems are lying
pyrotechnics
in there,
only
right?
makes only makes a colorful spark. That's all it is. It's like a firework. It
Aw,
doesn't
it doesn't
provide any
doesn't
real
do
fire heat. It's an illusion.
They're in the fireplace.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well,
Alright.
then I'll just cast Shillelagh on my
Alright.
staff, and I'll break them that way.
I will literally fire a firebolt from the cabin at the fireplace.
So
works.
what I'm to understand is that Willow and Nars talked, and Willow let slip just in casual conversation that she found some totems in a
They
fireplace.
were covered in blood. Of course, I was
Next door.
talking about them.
And they both decide to destroy said totems. From where you are, you've got a clear shot of the fireplace, and it's about How long's that range? 90 feet?
120.
Oh, you're well within range. Nars sets the totems ablaze.
Do we hear any movement?
And with that, you're still faced with did you just ask me?
Oh, I was wondering if we heard any movement, like there was a reaction from the creatures.
You hear a faint burrowing sound, and as it gets fainter and fainter again, and fainter still until you no longer hear it.
I think one of your men might have attracted these creatures.
I don't think so, sir. These men were not the religious type. He looks at you confusedly. So you'll give me a ride back to Phandalin then?
Yes, I will take you straight to my father.
Your father?
I believe he is your brother, Harvin West.
Huh. With that build of business, you all gain a level.
Hell yeah.
Nars, are you one of those Westers?
Nars is not
Not by blood.
heritage.
I am
Not by blood.
by adoption, mostly.
Oh, I see.
Uh,
So that would make this guy here your uncle.
Apparently not a good one. I never saw him very much.
And he seems very well dressed to be here.
he's a bit shell-shocked, and he's gone in to look for a blanket out of the storage materials because he's a bit of a basket case. He's not interacting with you.
Wow.
That's totally fine.
So
Just like his brother.
Just like his brother. Yeah, they're both paralyzed by fear. He won't open the door, and neither will his brother. Think about that.
we just leveled up. Huh?
You guys have gained a level. Had you not destroyed the totems, you would have had 3 more of those things to fight.
Ooh,
You
fun.
would have fought them before you even reached the office had you gone and explored the tents.
Nice.
Good on us.
Not bad.
Yeah, I'm choosing a feat instead of an ability score.
Yeah, I totally recommend feats. Feats are the bomb daddy.
Yep.
Everybody gonna take a feat?
Sure.
I am not. And I already told you why.
Nars.
I don't know.
Don't spoil it.
I already spent time researching what I was going to do, so my character will be done in a second here.
Yeah, mine too.
The dwarf already knows
Yep.
what his level up will be. Have either of the other 2 of you given any thought to it? Myrin or Willow, what direction will you take them?
Have not, and I would probably choose to focus on the decision.
You are going to take a feat. I know that.
Yeah.
You just don't know which one.
Yeah.
And Willow, I am wondering if she will which class will she choose this time? Because she won't get a feat either, but she will get maybe some stuff for level up on Druid or Cleric.
I am so sorry this thing kicked me off again, and I missed all of that.
Oh no! Where did you last hear? What did you hear last? We're about
know.
done
It
with
was
the session, I
very-
think. Unless you guys want to keep playing.
Keep playing for a bit.
I need to hop off, but if
Okay.
you guys want to keep playing.
No, it's fine.
No, we'll
Yeah, we
I would
can
say
hop.
we just would head back to the ledge or
Yeah,
the lodge.
Well, before Willow takes her leave, let's just say that she as the group's healer, is going to administer any kind of emotional support or healing magic that Tybor may have incurred in his times. And she and Tybor are going to ride in the cart. And you guys will take the cart back to Phandalin with Tybor and Willow sort of talking it out. And we can roleplay that for a little bit if we want to, and make our way back to the lodge as level 4. I don't know if you guys want some time to not have an encounter of any type. Let's just do some light roleplay and head back to the lodge with Tybor as we discuss our next possible moves. And Willow will ride with Tybor, and the three of us will walk next to Vincent the Ox and discuss it.
Alright, sounds good.
How comfortable is Vincent in this, all of this excitement?
What did you guys do with Vincent? You left him back on the
Just
road.
Sat there and watched us.
He's a reliable beast, and he has
Right.
proven his worth.
Just
That's
curious
why
to see the beast and its, its comfort level. That's all.
didn't actually realize anything was going on. It was far away from the action.
That's what I was hoping for.
It may have gotten some nervous action going had you guys fought the monsters instead of left the let them go at the totem.
Yeah.
Had you triggered them and fought them, 3 of them would have descended on you at the same time. But I'm kind of glad that we didn't have to go through the whole thing, because it may have been anticlimactic, because you guys are powerful enough now at 3rd level to have an easy time with 3 of them at once.
Yeah.
But the stuff coming up, you'll be more balanced for.
Shoot. Well, we lost cameras. We lost Kiki, I assume.
Yeah, she hopped out.
And just so you guys are aware, when that happens, it shifts cameras and it's a bloody mess.
It's an inconvenience that we're like homemade doing this on other people's software.
Yeah, we definitely are trying to break the matrix on this. So.
Well, yeah, I guess we continue walking back, and we try to get to know the person we just saved a little bit better as we're walking back.
He doesn't have much to say.
Okay.
You guys,
Tiber.
you guys really have more of like your eyes set on what the unexpected adventure to come, the one that Falcon has in store for you. In fact, you wonder if Falcon can't arrange to help the man.
Yeah, if we could find a way for him to lodge up at the lodge for a little while, and then we could escort him back later, or if Falcon has any anyone that he can send out with. Oh well, actually, we're the ones that are supposed to bring him back, though.
Yeah, we're
you were
tasked with it.
You were only supposed to deliver those goods to the camp.
Yeah,
we
weren't
the camp
tasked
to
with
lie
bringing
and
him
ruin
back.
it.
Yeah, but weren't we supposed to find the brother?
That
No,
was
you
Tiber.
were.
Okay.
The brother was the foreman there. You were only supposed to get his signature on the receipt.
On the receipt.
Okay.
On the delivery.
On the receipt. Okay.
The fact that his camp lay in ruin by these beasts was not expected.
Yeah.
So you talk about how weird that was. Yeah.
That was weird. It seemed as if. What is Myrin thinking about the events that you've just witnessed?
He had while the party was inside of the loggers camp cabin. Myrin was outside evaluating the drag marks from the creatures, and also he was just pondering on the totems. What he had deduced from that was that these creatures are not intellectual enough to do this on their own.
What creatures?
That we just encountered?
The creatures we fought today.
Yes. Yeah.
The bug-like yellow and keg monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so in that, paired with the knowledge that we had received from Falcon, he has at least come to a possible theory that the orcs and their spellcasting has something to do with this loggers camp and its issues.
What does Nars think about this theory?
I would like to retcon something real quick. I definitely would have asked Myrin to cut that creature up.
Oh, yeah, at the
You
bug.
think you would have taken a sample of the creature?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Especially
you
if I
have
thought
a
he had
sample of the
acid.
creature.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm always up for aiding.
Roll
because
Arcana for that, just for fun, Nars.
Okay.
I like to aid in these manufacturing processes of things.
I roll alchemical supplies? Question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your proficiency for sure for the supplies. You roll with your proficiency.
All right, 1 second. All right. Proficiency means I get +2? Question mark? Yeah. All right, so I got a 19.
So you are able to require a vial full of reagent from this beast. You were able to capture some of its acid.
Oh, yes.
And it would react as any other, acid weapon would, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe you can use it as an acid-themed magical device that you're able to conjure up with your intelligence. I don't know. Yeah. Thardin, what's on your mind about the day's events and Myrin's theory that the orc problem in these woods is somehow connected here?
Thardin agrees that the orcs, they must be the problem of the whole place. They've always been problems.
No, I know
And
that
I think it's dark magic they have here.
Thardin is being a bit racist towards orcs here.
I want to tell you, Thardin, that I do believe that I know you're quick to judge the orc and duly noted, but the more focus should be around the spellcasting and the coincidence of the loggers camp and the issues with Falcon.
I agree, Myrin, but it is dark
The
magic.
damn dorks, I know.
It's orcs.
As you guys are talking, you come upon a wild boar about 90 feet ahead of you. You can see it. It's just grazing in a clearing. It looks up at you suspiciously.
And we're at Falcon's camp.
No, you're not there yet. You're traveling there.
Oh,
You're traveling
okay.
back there.
Okay. And a wild boar is looking up at
You're
me?
using the rest of the day to travel back to Falcon with Tybor Wester in tow. He's riding in the cart to Willow, and they're talking quietly, and we are outside walking with Vincent the Ox.
Well, as
You see the boar.
I'm always looking for opportunities to provide protein to the people that require resources that I can aid. That being the party and possibly Tiber or Falcon and the butler, and so a wild boar being some game that I would.
You're thinking about bacon?
hunt.
Are you thinking about bacon?
I enjoy the cut.
And ham?
I also enjoy that cut. Same cut, actually, prepared differently, right?
It's all cuts of meat out of the animal, and you're thinking your mouth is watering looking at this wild boar, and all of a sudden it darts off into the clearing. I mean, it darts out of the clearing into the underbrush, and you don't see it anymore.
Oh, no tracking can.
You could track
be
it.
had?
You can track it if you want. You are a ranger after all, and you track beasts through forest. You know how to do it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, I almost inherently it would happen. I don't even know if I could.
I'll tell you if you allow me to metagame a little bit. If you track this thing and are successful in finding it, it'll be an encounter with a wild boar. You think?
That
appears to be well.
that I will also in this meta game if I would counter with the party if they want to continue or not, because it might take a minute. Otherwise, I may just try to just get some game to bring back to Falcon.
Okay, then it's darted, but you still see it. It's darted to a different tree. It's now about 120 feet away, and
I'm
it's
still trying
eyeball
to keep,
it.
I'm still trying to
eyeball
keep. I'm keeping tracking on it right now.
It's eyeballing you. I mean, it's just appeared through some brush and it's eyeballing you.
Party.
No, I'm Thardin's good for tracking it down and killing it. If you want.
As you looking at it, it transforms into a humanoid half-orc
Oh,
creature.
now we're definitely killing it.
Yeah, this changes everything.
Thardin's already off the cart, running towards it.
Oh yeah,
He's just like, come on.
full blaze. He's heading across the forest to go get it. You're gonna die, you bloody orc!
Very well.
So yeah, in this, Myrin actually grabs, for the first time, he grabs one of his standard arrows.
Okay.
It's time to hunt.
So just imagine that we're standing in a large wooded area. It's near dusk. It's close to Falcon's Lodge, but you haven't quite made it there yet. And it's in this open forested area with trees everywhere. It's fairly level with a blanket of autumn leaves on the ground.
So,
It
Everybody
transformed
roll
into a druid
initiative.
form.
yeah, I
What?
was gonna. Go ahead.
Sorry, what was the question?
It transformed into a druid form.
It transformed into it's a humanoid form. It looks vaguely like it's got that. From what you can tell this far away, and what you're looking for, and you can see is it's got this orcish jaw line that juts out with the tusks. It's got this orcish underbite. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Nasty. But it's standing. It looks a bit lankier than an orc. It looks like a half orc. But from this distance and this light, you can't tell much more than that.
Oh yeah, so I saw it transform into an orc.
You all saw it. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You pointed it out to the party. You were
I
tracking
saw
this
Yeah.
You pointed it out to the party. Everybody's got their eyes on this boar, and it transforms into a humanoid form. It shapeshifts.
So I'll just
It's staring you down.
in the way I would play it out is that I would have already pulled out like this like standard bow, like I thought I was hunting before I had the regular arrow out, and then like once I saw it transform, I like put the standard arrow back and then pull back and now I have the magic arrow. We are not hunting anymore.
Nice choice. Everybody roll initiative for me.
I rolled go ahead.
I had a 17.
I rolled an 18.
Thardin rolled a 3.
I'm sorry, Nars 18,
Yes.
Thardin 3, Myrin 17.
Yeah.
Willow's she's elected to stay back at the cart and keep an eye on Tiber in case there are more of these things. She will not be joining you in this combat.
Okay.
You're facing down with this thing about 120 feet away through a wooded area, and it is behind partial cover. It steps behind partial cover as we roll initiative. As could anybody in this scenario here, with all these trees, there's lots of cover in this forest. The trees are huge.
Yeah, I could probably be taking, or I would probably already would be taking advantage of the natural cover.
Yeah. Nars is up first.
Ray of Sickness.
What's the range on that?
60 feet. Am I in range?
Out of range.
Oh, how far is it?
It's 120 feet away, thereabouts, give or take 10.
Oh, okay. I will have to fire a firebolt then.
Okay.
In 20 range.
Roll with disadvantage.
I'll move up 30 feet.
He's behind partial cover.
Oh,
Wait,
yes.
three-quarters cover, we'll say. That
Oh.
will give you disadvantage on the roll.
Okay, if he's mostly in cover, I'm just going to move up, and then I will cast... all these new tricks.
Are we all leveled up to 4?
Yeah.
No.
No. Yeah,
going
again, I didn't think we were hitting this mid-session, so I was not prepared.
I'm just going
And been prepared to end at 10, but we decided to go farther.
I'm just taking cover.
Okay. Nars holds his turn, right? His action?
Yeah, I'll hold a firebolt.
Nars is going to hold a firebolt if the beast comes within range or it moves around and he can see it out of cover. Okay. Next, we've got Myrin.
I'm just gonna release a magic
It's
arrow.
assumed that you're behind. You've already got behind cover. You're behind.
Yeah, I'm just gonna release an arrow around from a tree.
Partial. You're gonna aim at an arrow with it.
Yeah, just around from a tree. I already
Roll.
have. I'm inside of cover right now.
Roll that attack at disadvantage.
Stand by for disadvantage. Okay. 13 at disadvantage.
Nars has gifted you with this bow, and you're really feeling it. You've attuned to it, and you let loose a bolt of energy arrow, and it strikes the beast. Roll damage.
7.
The beast takes this piercing energy beast in its arm, and it sort of disappears as it's knocked behind the tree.
I'd stay behind cover.
The beast is gonna also take a look to see what it can see of these party members, these 3 with their cart off in the distance, who have taken interest in it enough in its boar form to come after it. And let's see, what is it going to decide to do? Oh, it's going to see Thardin's armor glinting in the last rays of the setting sun, and it is going to shoot a lightning bolt out of its hand at you. And it will roll for its wisdom mod. 21 to hit.
That is a hit. $21 to hit AC, correct?
Yeah, that was your AC.
Yep, that was my AC.
The lightning bolt defeats your armor. Obviously, it's metal, and it zips into you and electrifies the dwarf.
Ah!
You take 23 points of lightning damage.
Holy shit.
And we leveled up.
And it's going to use its movement to try to run and escape you. So it moves. Let's see. It runs 30 feet behind a tree, and you think it's behind a certain tree. So that puts it 150 feet away. You think you know what tree it's behind. Thardin, you're up.
Okay, Okay, I take an action to use my lay on hands on myself to heal myself. A nice radiant light beam comes out of my hands, and I put it over my heart, and my body starts to heal.
How much do you heal yourself for?
I heal myself for 20.
Crazy.
Nice.
Do I think I can see that creature?
You think you know which tree it's behind.
He's about 150 feet away.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna dash at it.
Okay, how far does that get you?
Let's see. Movement is 25.
Movement's 25, and you're going to dash, so that gets you 50 feet closer. You're 100 feet away from it.
100 feet away.
And you're 50 feet away from your other party members. So you're running after it?
Yep.
Okay, you're dashing after it. And that brings us back to Nars. What do you do, sir?
So as he moved from cover to cover, running, did he come in my range for that firebolt?
No, he went the other way from where you guys were.
So I'm even farther away. So now I'm like
Farther away from you. He's 150 feet away from you now.
chasing things. I guess I will move and dash towards Thardin. And then I will end my turn.
How far does that get you? 60 feet?
60, yep.
So you stay within. You catch up to the Paladin, and you guys are both running after this thing. Is that right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Still holding your action, you're using your movement. If you see it, and you're in range, your firebolt will go off, and that's what, 90 feet? 120 feet.
So technically it clears out when it's my round again. So I only can run or stand there and hold.
All right. Myrin, what do you do? You have seen your two pals run off. You've left Willow. You're still near Willow in the cart. She's in the cart. She's staying back behind with Tybor.
Yeah.
What do you do?
But I think that if I were to move in a strafe sort of action, possibly radius, with some radius, am I kind of leading him off? In a sense where I might be able to catch a glimpse of him past the tree that we all saw him run past. If I ran outward, could I use my movement to gain?
You strive. You're asking if you strive and don't go actually towards where he is, but if you move pivotively in a radius that he is in, would you see the beast?
Yeah.
I think that's only fair that you would have eyes on it at some point during the movement. If you actually make a lateral move and not go towards him.
Yes, exactly.
It'd be much easier to pinpoint that.
And I think that I'd still be within range, bow range, so that would be tactically what I would move towards.
Definitely, you'll be within bow range for, God, I don't know, the foreseeable turns.
Yeah, so that's why
320.
So I just kind of
320.
Like you said, I just probably would keep moving laterally. So like, you know, I'm just kind of depicting like the trees, like moving through like a bed of trees and you know the lateral.
So you use your movement to move 30 feet laterally from where the action has moved off.
Yeah.
And you see the figure. You can see him quite clearly. He's not under cover. He's between trees, and you take a shot at him.
As I was running, I was also pulling back on the bow.
You have made. You have identified the target and roll for the attack.
27 to hit.
That hits.
I'd hope so.
It takes another one. Roll damage.
I would hope so. 8 damage.
8 points of damage. Let me just roll something really quick. It's going to take the arrow in the leg.
Okay.
How many points of damage was that?
8.
Okay.
And then I'm also using in my movement. I would have been looking for the next tree for cover, to peer around the side. So that's like the basis of my movement would have been to move to another tree. I just assume we're in a forest area with a lot of trees.
You see the beast take an arrow shot in the leg. I don't know how. I guess, can you see that? Can you see that?
I don't know
it's
if
magic.
I don't know if I could see it. I could probably see the impact, and I do have some keen eyes with my elven.
Do have that keen eyesight. You see that it
yeah.
looks like you took that hit in the leg. You were aiming a little lower down, and it's taken that shot in the leg, and that has slowed it down. With its turn, it's going to try to run even farther from you, and it uses its dash action.
Oh no!
It does not want to engage with you. to get 60 feet farther.
Yeah, and I mean I'm not in range to do anything else, so I would just try to keep eyes on it. And eyes on the party. How far are the party away from the new movement? Because I probably saw
they
the
were at
battlefield.
about 100 feet off of it, I think. I've lost
Oh,
track.
Christ.
They had moved towards it. This is hard to track with just your brain.
That's a lot of
There's constant motion, and there's two groups moving north, and you're moving west. And so I'm doing a big triangle in my head right now, I guess.
Yeah.
They are going to be within 160 feet of it now. And it is this creature's just turn has ended. What does Thardin Silverhammer do?
Thardin, pull back.
Using my military knowledge, I realize that we can't keep up with this creature.
Yeah. You're not going to outrun it.
And I think we'll have to track it at some point.
You see, as you start to run out of breath, and it starts to move away from you, that we are now out of initiative, and you see it transform into its boar shape and disappear into the thickets. It's made it to a patch of brambles and is no longer in your sight line, and it's far enough away that it is gone. And you've got precious cargo back at the cart, and you decide not to go after it.
Before I would assume that we gather and then we discuss it a bit before we end up heading back to the cart. I would return to a few of the sites that I noticed where I had struck the creature. And I would like to at least go there and examine the blood or something. I want to gain a more heightened sense for tracking as we
Looks
move
like
forward.
orcish blood.
Yeah.
You can tell it's not full blood orc though, because it doesn't have quite that hue to it.
Okay, so I've identified that it would be the half orcs that we had had some conversation about earlier.
You surmise that you're facing off with one of the very same creatures that Falcon spoke of.
Mm-hmm. So with that, I would just like to take that in, and then hopefully this would gain me some further insight as I move to track these beings.
Yeah.
It's kind of
The name of that encounter was a boring encounter.
There's a boring.
Yeah.
She's seen a razorback run off into the woods. If you've never seen one before, it's kind of an awesome sight.
Thardin takes.
They grow. It's quite big. It's quite big. It's bigger than a person. This razorback that we speak of. We're from razorback country. Go Hogs.
I'm not gonna do it. It almost came out.
Thardin takes three rocks, and he piles one on top of each other and leans them up against the tree where he last saw this guy. And he continuously does it till we get back to the wagon. He keeps finding rocks to pile up, so we will have a little marker for when we come back here to possibly find where this guy
went.
Where it left, where the direction of the trail left off.
And again, this is out of character, but there's a part of me that wants to say that the hunter class needed a bit revision as to how it tracks prey and stuff like that. And I recently have been doing some investigation on just that, and I think that there's something to be had for like a ranger that is taking the hunter and wanted to track something.
Yes, noted. I will take
Yeah.
that into consideration.
Okay.
If you come back and try to track this beast, I will definitely play that in your favor
Okay.
for your hunter's abilities.
Yep.
And you, being a hunter and living in these woods, would have faced off against similar boars before.
So I should just have
You would know how to track a boar.
yeah, and
You would know what to look for. You'd know what the scat looked like. You'd know.
Yeah.
You've killed boars in the wood before. There's wild boar in this wood, and you thought this was one of them. It didn't strike you as anything.
Which is why I was ready to
until
hunt.
you saw it transform.
I was ready to hunt. Yeah.
Yeah, you wanted to go hunt it. You were looking at it thinking dinner.
Yeah.
And then it turned out to be one of these spell-casting half-orc creatures
So
living in this wood.
And in that, like getting some senses of its blood and whatnot, and then that combination with our research that we had with Falcon, I think that we could pull all that together, and maybe even once we get back to, because I imagine that we're going to travel.
Let's just say you go back to the cart. You tell Willow what happened. She exclaims, "Oh my gracious!" And you take her and Tybor, and you end up back at Falcon's tonight, going across the bridge. Corwin lets you in. Pell takes the animal, and they both help Tybor to a bedroom. And you see Falcon, and he comes out and wants to know what happened.
Well, we saw we went back to the lumber's camp, and we found this guy here, Mr. Webharbin.
Tybor, yeah, he's my neighbor. He listens to your story about the beasts. He gives you the name of them, Ankeg. He's heard of them before.
Yes,
These beasts are called Ankegs. Yes,
like
they spit acid. They burrow. They can burrow through the earth, and they will come up and attack you and grapple you in their mandibles and take you back down the tunnel with them if they're successful in getting a hold of you. And Thardin thinks back to how the thing tried to attack him with its mandible and try to grasp him, and realized that he had just rolled a great save and gotten out of that, or else the thing might have taken him down under the earth.
And then on our way back, we were bringing this guy back, and we found he was about to shoot a boar, and it transformed into an orc.
His face grows weary and
We
long.
tried to hunt it, but it was too fast.
Falcon thinks about what you've said. These must be the creatures we've heard of, the orcish spellcasters that the orcs that have come down from the mountains have partnered with. They must have been the ones that left the totem that called the Ankegs to the loggers' camp and killed those men.
Falcon, I do find it odd that you had not known about the issues at the loggers' camp if Tybor is your neighbor.
Yes, it only just happened. Apparently, you came upon it at the very shortly after the time that it happened. Word had not left the camp.
What timing?
I mean, it would have happened right before you got there, because no boats had come back to Neverwinter with news of the disaster. So it came with between now and the time the last boat came through. We can check that definitely in the records. I'll send a messenger hawk to Neverwinter.
We just want to make sure that we are covering our bases, and
yeah,
it is curious that the orcs seem to be working with these burrowing creatures. It's foul.
Yeah.
DM, Thardin would like to take a look more into this gentleman's Falcon's posture, his poise, his insight. I'd like to see more into whether he's telling us the truth or not.
Okay. Roll me an insight check. And Thardin looks.
Paladin rolls a 21.
Thardin looks up and down at Falcon, and he can tell the man's genuinely worried about these events. And you see the truth in his eyes as he's described these menacing beasts that he's heard of. And with a role like that, you can tell that he's being extremely honest about his offer of the Elvenkind boots.
Okay. I was kind of following up on Myrin's theory that why did he not know? But I guess it happened.
Why didn't he know?
As he said.
Why didn't he know what?
Why didn't you know about the loggers?
Nobody knew about the loggers until you guys found it.
And it seemed like we had
happened.
It seemed like we had came across a destroyed camp, and we did not know how long it had been destroyed.
You weren't able to judge by the corpses because they were all taken down below.
We weren't. And the only thing,
Where no corpses, all you saw was signs of the struggle.
We did see a fire, and we probably nobody really investigated the fire directly, but we probably could have deduced the age of the attack, based on the fire and how long it had been burning or went out and not been tended to. Right.
You would have seen how fresh it was, and it had just been burning.
Yeah.
It was probably burning when they got attacked, and it burned itself out very recently.
Mm-hmm. So we would have been able to I don't know, passively we would have been able to catch that, but again, it was just like understanding the neighborhood, if you will.
In your neighborhood.
And the involvement of Falcon in the local goings-ons.
Yes, Falcon is very concerned. He turns to you and he says, now it's very pertinent that you, as a group, should go investigate where they live in this ruined manse.
It seems like if...
And he goes on to tell you some information about the manse.
Okay.
And if you'll stand by for half a second, it's being really slow.
Do have to go, just so we know.
All right.
Yeah. We're winding down here. We're lucky to get 40 minutes past our hard stop time, and I'm happy with that. We can come back and talk about the Willow and Manse next time, and we'll be with Falcon, and we'll talk about that.
Could we end it
we'll get
at
his
being
intel.
in the lodge?
What's that?
Could we end it and being inside of the lodge and?
We'll end in the lodge.
Okay.
We'll end in the lodge. We've come back. We've saved Tybor. We've stopped the evil from encroaching on the loggers' camp by destroying those totems, and we have come across a possible, probable culprit of the totems that wreaked the havoc at the loggers' camp. Those guys, those spellcaster anchorites had left the totems so that the logger camp would be destroyed.
Right.
That's what we have put together, our theory.
I guess.
All right.
Right. Yeah. Good session, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for a great session, everyone.
Yeah.
That was fun.
And I'll message you, DM, with some updates. So.
Yes. I'm glad we're
Level
at
4.
4.
Woo!
I wanted to get you guys so badly there at the beginning of the level, but I didn't. I wasn't able to come up with enough XP in my calculations.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Have it now, after you defeated the evil at the loggers camp. Thanks for a great session.